With its unfamiliar alphabet, Russian can be a hard sell for pupils and a challenging subject for teachers. So how did one modern foreign languages teacher achieve what some consider to be the holy grail of language learning?
They don't realise they're just speaking entirely in the target language. For sometimes up to 10 minutes, they have no idea that they're being fully immersed.
Andy Markham, the head of department at Frederick Gough School in Scunthorpe, did it using what's now called thinking skills, even though to him the technique came naturally.
I was always thinking of ways to try and make the pupils memorise key words, or any words, any phrases, but I hadn't really labelled it as thinking skills.
This programme demonstrates some of the techniques that Andy uses to help pupils to learn Russian. But he believes the methods translate to all the other major languages. And he's produced a handy guide to the methods, which can be found on the Teacher's TV website.
I use a variety of thinking skill methods. For example, lively activities such as mimes. I like... Это не теннис. I like... Пожалуйста. Badminton, good lad. If a word sounds very similar as in English or in Russian or in French, I develop the links there by saying, do you recognise this word anyway? Could you guess what this word was, even if you've never seen it before? What about the difference between banyo and ducha? How can you know the difference between those?
In French.
Yeah, ducha in French. And those who did Russian, can you remember what shower was in Russian as well? It's douche, just douche, so very, very similar as well. Excellent. The actions and mimes that I use when I'm teaching the pupils as well, I don't want them just to see me doing them, they must do them themselves. And then they can put their own twist on it, if you like. For example, teaching sports. There are my methods, my mimes for snooker and golf, which, you get the pupils laughing as well, they can see me doing these things in front of them, but I'd like them to get involved. It's not Simon says, it's Simon plays, we're going to say now, because I'm going to teach you in a moment how to say, I play, do you play this? So it's going to be Simon plays tennis, in which case you would do the actions. If I just say tennis, what do you do? Nothing, that's it, all right? Okay, Simon играет в tennis. Just do the actions, you don't have to say anything. Хорошо. Simon играет в rugby. Simon играет в ping-pong. Хорошо. Netball. Oh, how many of you would be out on that one? Other activities that I use involving thinking skills, as many games as possible. Well corrected. Very good, all right, David. Sorry, you're saying the same numbers here, aren't you? You're getting them all out. Okay, well done. And I'm not saying a thing at all. It's just the pupils speaking in Russian, Spanish, French, whatever. By the time they finish that game, they've subconsciously taken in so much information in that foreign language that they don't realise it. But suddenly you say to them after these activities, tell me what you've just been saying, and they all know it, no books needed, no references needed at all.
The inspiration for new ideas in the classroom can come from anywhere.
I'm still learning with thinking skills. I think it's a continual learning process, to be honest, because I think of an idea that might work. Some are more successful than others. It's a trial and error process, really. But all teachers can have their own ideas, their own resources. You can see something on TV, a different game show, you think, I'll try something along those lines then in my next lesson. So the possibilities are definitely endless. OK, your time starts in 3, 2, 1. Rugby, golf, tennis, volleyball, ping pong, badminton, volleyball, golf, tennis, badminton, ping pong.
Andy realised that thinking skills are effective when he tried the technique to encourage pupils to form words in Russian from the unfamiliar letters in the alphabet.
The alphabet was no problem. Putting the letters together to form words, they found very, very difficult. And that's how it really started for me. I thought, well, I use it with the odd word, but I need to use it a lot more. I need to use more actions, I need to use just more visual aids, more kinesthetic learning processes as well. Although they were high ability and they do respond to being taught with books and essay writing, etc., they still did need thinking skills to be employed. Привет! Привет! Пока! Как дела? Как дела? Хорошо! Нормально! Нормально! Плохо! Плохо! We started off with some initial how are you, hello, what's your name, my name is, numbers 1 to 11, using thinking skills such as mimes and games as well, that they are aware of. Now, looking around the room then, a few of the objects. Yep, что это? Часой, что это? Lampa, да, что это? Это доска. Что pencil по-русски? Yeah, карандаш. Что ruler по-русски? Yeah, how do you remember that? Think of the... Garilurka, very good. After that, to introduce the topic of sport, it's the very first lesson of this topic of hobbies and free time. And it's quite an accessible topic for even the weakest ability pupils. The sounds of the words 12 sports are very, very similar, in fact, almost identical to English. Это регби? Да, это регби, отлично. Что это по-русски? Это badminton. So I thought, how can I make that more interesting for them? And that's why I thought more thinking skills, actions, mimes, getting the pupils to do Simon Says or Simon Plays these sports, linking it into opinions as well. I don't like... Hey, volleyball. Well corrected, well corrected. Golf?
Andy's obviously a convert to the technique, but colleagues have also noticed a difference since thinking skills have grown in popularity at the school, which is a specialist language college. The techniques Andy's pioneered in Russian are now used to teach other languages.
You do get pupils that attempt to use the language spontaneously with you. So, you know, they'll come into lesson and use what they've learned in a completely different context. So, you know, they'll tell me what's happened over the weekend or something like that, but they feel that they can use the language to say that to me.
Пожалуйста. Привет. Как тебя зовут? Rasputin. Меня зовут Sasha. Почему нет? Why not? Пока. Отлично, отлично. Okay, very, very good. Well done.
It's encouraging independence, I think, in language learning. So getting them to feel more confident in putting sentences together, not just in a topic that you're teaching, but in any sort of topic or situation, so that they don't just learn a phrase for that topic, but they can reuse that in a different context or a different situation.
Okay, what's it? Oh, I can't do this at all. Thank you very much for helping me. It looks like I was shooting, yeah. Supposed to be snooker cue. That was it. We're a large faculty of 8 full-time language teachers, but we are a very close-knitted team. We always share different ideas, we always share resources. So any ideas are always welcomed and embraced and used in the classroom. So it hasn't been a problem encouraging fellow members of staff to use these methods, especially when they see the benefits.
The important thing about thinking skills, according to these practitioners, is not to allow the technique to get in the way of the lesson content.
I think it's wrong to assume as well that people before weren't using thinking skills in the lessons. I think it's something that's always been there, we're just making it more explicit. You know, that's what we're being told to do, so we are making it an essential part of the lesson now, but it always has been there.
You say da, ya, da ya, lublю, and whatever I say at the end. Okay, ready? So pretend you like it even if you don't.
In terms of introducing thinking skills into your lessons, obviously it is a crucial part, but I think the main thing to focus on is variety and to include it as part of your lesson, but that isn't the main content.
So read through the numbers, Adin, and you can tell me in Russian, with your best Russian accent, how you would describe those pictures, what they are. Номер один. Это, shout it out. Регби, да. 3. Tennis. 4. Cricket.
Thinking skills is a useful tool across the age range, according to Andy.
I think the younger that you introduce the pupils to thinking skills, and then they'll gradually go through the 3, 4, 5 years of school adapting to these methods. I did go in and start with a Year 11 class 2 years ago with thinking skills, and they hadn't seen anything like it before, so I didn't get the same response. It's just a confidence thing. But if you've taught them for 3 years, and they've had 3 years of thinking skills and practice, their inhibitions have gone by then anyway. They know what to expect, and they will get fully involved, even at age 16. Yeah, lublю football. Okay, good. I knew that would backfire, I knew it would. Yeah, lublю basketball. Хорошо. Okay, good. Now you...
MFL's expert Wendy Adeniji believes that the technique can also work well with lower ability pupils.
Whatever talent or ability, thinking skills can help young people. So one could say it's actually even more important for lower ability pupils who maybe lack confidence and think that they aren't particularly good. and it will show them that there are things that they can do. The approach at Frederick Goff is particularly interesting because he has developed some ideas. He's honed them by changing the way that he teaches slightly to really engage the pupils and develop their thinking skills. And that's why this is such a great example that we can actually see how he is teaching and learn from these ideas.
Okay, category paruski, I like. We've had this one already. Whoa, look at all those hands that went up, and it was this side first. Okay, James, go for it.
Yeah, Lou, got it.
Yeah, Lou, go. Are you right? We should see.
Yeah, we are.
So confident. That, Adlishna. Okay, very good.
I like learning Russian because it's fun and Mr. Markin's fun and like he makes up different ways to remember them.
The plus any sport. Okay. Yeah, football's got to, you'd have to say that part.
It's interesting, it's not boring, you've always got something new to learn, it's like always fun.
Now, because there's so many hands that are up here now, I'm going to ask two of you to come up and work together on this, alright? So I have two lads now. Okay, in fact, all three of you.
I really like them because it's not like a normal lesson, it's like they put more activities in to make it fun and make it more interesting.
Rugby. Rugby, good. Tennis. Very good. Cricket. Oh, it's next to it, that's the one. We've definitely noticed a huge improvement in learning amongst pupils from all abilities, really, and all year groups. We've increased the motivation, I think, by employing thinking skills from all pupils. Our end-of-unit test levels for the national curriculum, they've increased. The Key Stage 4 exam results have also shown a gradual increase. And I put it down partly to thinking skills. We do have more dual and triple linguists. I think the pupil behaviour, on the whole, has improved significantly. It never really was that bad at all, but it has improved. We have a lot less sanctions to dish out. The response that we get from parents in parents' evenings as well. So my son, my daughter loves language lessons now. They really want to do languages in the future. So all we seem to be getting is positive news. Remember 2 rules?
Andy concedes that the technique requires a greater investment in lesson planning than might otherwise be the case, and that more resources need to be created. But he's managed to convince other members of his department that the technique not only works, but also strengthens a teacher's hand in the classroom.
I go about planning my lessons to include thinking skills by planning a different lesson for every lesson that I teach and every class that I teach. I don't plan a set lesson and then save it and think that will do for next year, because every class is different, every pupil's different. So you do need to put in that extra effort and that extra work to plan different skills and different thinking skills strategies. It does have its benefits though. The extra time that you put in planning the lessons, you get it back so much more from the pupils. I really do think that is worth it.
Andy's produced a guide for other teachers who may want to try some of the thinking skills techniques. It can be found on the Teachers TV website.
I certainly don't go into the weaker ability classes or the classes where the notorious pupils are in with behavioural problems and think, oh, what am I going to do with them now? Because I know they'll respond to this, and I know that they have done in the past, they will do in the future. So I actually look forward to going into working with the pupils. One final word for you. Simon, Gavarit, Poka.
Do svidania.
Do svidania. Okay, okay.